Sometimes, PBIS is implemented along with similar academic processes known as response to intervention, or RTI. And when PBIS and RTI are implemented together, it's often referred to as multi-tiered systems of support, or MTSS. In Kentucky, it's also sometimes referred to as ABRI or ABRI, which is just Academic and Behavior Response to Intervention. As a school-wide intervention, PBIS is not run by the administrator, it is run by the entire school. However, in order to make this practical, a PBIS team is created within the school. The PBIS team does not run PBIS, it acts as a representative body in the school to facilitate communication and action in a simple but comprehensive manner. Ideally, the PBIS team includes persons that represent all the stakeholder groups in the school. One way to think about this is to consider whether every adult in the school can look at the team and point to a person that represents him or her. This representation is crucial in terms of getting buy-in and consistent implementation. PBIS teams typically meet monthly to look at data and evaluate where changes are necessary. Module 6 in this series describes the process of data collection, but here we're looking at the uses of this data in 3 key ways at each meeting. The first is to evaluate progress towards school goals. For example, a school may have developed a general goal of reducing suspensions or a more specific goal of reducing discipline referrals from the cafeteria. In either case, the team looks at the data available to evaluate progress. If progress is adequate, this success is reported back to the full faculty and staff to reinforce continued use of those prevention strategies and keep them in place. The second key is to look generally at discipline data in an attempt to see any new trends. Sometimes in the middle of the year, a new hotspot or new problem behavior or new problem condition pops up. By looking at the data each month, the team can get out ahead of these problems and confer back with the faculty and staff with regard to simple prevention solutions. Finally, the team should look for students whose behaviors indicate that prevention efforts are not working. That is, they look to identify students in need of further support. For example, the team may designate a criterion for number of discipline reports necessary to prompt further assessment. As a general rule of thumb, the criterion for such identification should identify 15 to 20% of the school's population. Not all of these students will require attention at an elevated tier, but all deserve a closer look to better understand the predictability of their behavior. Because we don't want to clog up regular faculty meetings with long discussions of PBIS, the team will designate a person to present general findings to the entire faculty at regular meetings. In addition, data should be printed and posted in an area where all faculty and staff have regular access. Note that the PBIS team is not permanent. People may rotate on and off each year as part of a regular committee schedule. In this way, all faculty and staff take part in the teaming process at some point. The idea is to make the PBIS process a routine part of how the school does business. Other modules in this series describe specific components of the process. Before moving to the next module, consider the following. Do the faculty and staff in your school truly understand the logic of PBIS? Remember that you are probably already doing much of what is involved. PBIS is just a framework for creating systemic consistency and efficiency. In terms of teaming, consider who needs to be included in order to make sure that you are representing everyone and determine a monthly meeting time.